Hello, wonderful people. My name is Jessica, aka the Sacred Rebel. This podcast is dedicated to all the other sacred rebels out there, sacred women, and all of the above that are in need of a guiding light in their waking life and spirituality. This podcast will feature talks on spirituality, being a woman, traumas, self-development, meditations, as well as self-healing and all of the above. It is with love and compassion that I gift this podcast to the rest of the world, as it was never presented to me growing up. And it is my hope that this podcast will be the seed that is planted in someone else to basically be motivated to create a change within themselves that can be the change for the rest of the world. So kick back, relax, grab a cup of tea, and enjoy. Much love. Greetings, everyone. I am back again with another special episode. I know it's been a minute since I've recorded anything, and that's because, when you do 10 episodes, that's a feat. Some people usually stop at episode 3, but I did 10 episodes of my first podcast and shared it consistently, and I decided to give myself a week off. But what happened after that week off, when I was supposed to return, I actually contracted a sinus cold that was given to me by my lovely boyfriend. It's a gift that keeps on giving, right? And so usually what happens is that the sinus cold, it starts at my throat where everything is just sore, throbbing. Sometimes I lose my voice. And then it travels up my throat to my face and my head. And I'm feeling pressure. I'm drippy everywhere. And I said, I can't do it. I can't do this. I can't record when I'm not at 100%. And I also had to cancel a Reiki appointment because I wasn't at 100%, and I'm not going to be over this person with my nose dripping and having to blow it every 5 seconds. And I also had to cancel my Sunday singing bowl sessions. But now that I am back on track, I am ready to, get back into the swing of things. So in this episode, I want to basically talk about what does it mean to set a boundary around your work, and why is that very important to what you wish to build. Now, there's been many times where I've had an idea of something sounded so grand to me, and when I would relay my idea to the next person, either I would get a half-hearted smile, or I'll get a weak, limp cheer from whoever I was trying to, get that validation from. And it just made me feel bad, as this is not what I'm supposed to do. The last time I've gotten weak ass accolades from someone else was the last time I seen my 2 coworkers from my previous job. We were having dinner at a local Mexican restaurant, and I told them that, I quit my job. Obviously, you guys know I resigned, and that I am going to go for spiritual life coaching. And they both look at me like I was insane. And rather than ask me questions about the life coaching, they just basically went straight for, are you sure you want to quit? That's your 401k. Why don't you just transfer to a different place, and you can still keep your time that you had on along with your 401k, and everything will be great. And I looked at them and I said, this is probably the last time I'm ever going to see them, because they're not on the same wavelength, the vibe that I'm riding on. And that was the last time I've seen them. They were more concerned about me losing all of the time that I put into my last job, and so concerned about like my 401k that they completely bypassed what I said that I was going to do, that I was passionate about. And I didn't feel bad at all. The old version of me would have felt bad, and I probably would have like tried to get back into like my old job, but the new me did not give a fuck. I was like, okay, well, I'm informing you as a manifester, as a 5-1 manifester. If you're into human design, I am informing you of what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it. So this wasn't like a request or something that I need your validation or permission to do. I was going to do it anyways, and I was going to do it with some gusto. Got a little sassy right there. But I want to talk on why it's important to have boundaries, have a bit of a backbone for your work. When you have an idea about something, that idea is basically like, I think of our creations as our children. Even if you don't have kids, think of them as your child or as a rare plant that you are going to really take care of. Actually, I'm going to stick with the child. Your creation is your baby. Now, you wish to show your baby to different people, but you know that deep down you can't really show it to different people. Because here's why. 9 times out of 10, we're going to get some sort of negative feedback. If we went up to 5 different people with our idea, our creation, our child, hey, this is what I'm going to be doing. At least 3 out of the 5 people will have some sort of negative connotation about what you want to do. And they usually come from people like your parents. Parents are one. We love our mom and dads, but sometimes they have fixed ideas of how you should succeed in this world. The second person could be someone that is supposed to be your friend, but at the same time, they low-key don't want you to succeed because they want to try to like catch up to you or surpass you. And then the third person is that person that never wants to do anything at all. They basically are like victims of their own personal self-sabotage. And so anything that seems good that is coming from someone else, they will put it down because they don't want to see you succeed. They want you to self-sabotage and self-destruct just as them so they can feel great about themselves. And then there's probably many more out there. But those are usually like the top 3 people I've come across that basically you just can't like bring up your ideas to them up front until you have a spine where you won't fold. Because it's very easy to fold when it's negative feedback coming from those that are closest to our hearts. Because we're open to listen to them a bit more than a stranger. Of course, there are people who are a bit more sensitive that will take a stranger's input to the heart like an arrow. But for the rest, who they can give 2 shits about what a stranger tells them, what they can and cannot do, they usually have a open space for those that they love, and if they get negative feedback from the people that they love, that hurts. That's very damaging and is very like discouraging. And so they self-destruct and they cancel out on the idea of the creation. And here's the thing. You cannot let even those that you know who are close to you abuse your child. Certainly, you wouldn't let someone put their hands on your child, would you? Like, if you had an actual child or you already have children, that's your creation right there. It'll be a cold day in hell if someone just came up to your kid and just slapped the shit out of them. And that's how we need to start treating our ideas, our creations, as if it is a precious child that we will protect at all costs. And that's why boundaries need to be placed around your ideas. That's why it is very necessary, and it's the key to the survival of your idea, that you place boundaries around your creations. Treat your creations like they are your children, because you are nurturing them. You are watching them grow into a beautiful, bolder person, a bolder version of yourself. And this is a part of yourself too. Matter of fact, your creations, your ideas are a part of yourself. And while some people can't stand the idea of like an actual child being abused, but they won't stand for themselves, this is your chance to actually stand up for yourself in that moment when you're creating something. This is like that moment where enough is enough. And there's been many times where I've had like ideas of doing something, and then I allowed myself to backtrack and second guess myself because of what someone else would tell me. There was a point in time when I had told my dad that I quit my job because I'm going to do spiritual life coaching. He fucking gagged. I mean, he lamented in the parking lot. Oh Lord, why would you do that, Jess? Why would you quit your job? Why would you? And it didn't matter that I told him that the job is not part of my path, and it was soul sucking. It didn't matter. Only thing that mattered was the time I put in and the money. Oh Lord, the money. I think a part of him was more concerned about I was probably going to start asking him for money. A little part of me feels that, but that's okay. Quite honestly, I would never ask him for anything other than like the only thing I ever asked him was for attention and support, and he couldn't give that to me. So I stopped telling my dad what I'm doing. I pulled back. Instead of sharing what I am doing freely, I kept to myself, and I got so deep into what I want to do that I created a wall around the space. I created armor and protection around my ideas, to the point where like he can even ask what I'm doing, and I will probably inform him what I am doing and what I am going to do without hesitation and with confidence. Because the thing is, people only see other people, I'm not saying it's everyone, but they only see as far as how far can they go themselves? And they know that they haven't really gotten too far from themselves, and so they kind of just project that onto everyone else. I've only gotten this far, so therefore you can only get this far too. And these are people that are not well equipped to like give you any type of advice, because they can only see as far as what they have reached, rather than being open and accepting. They are basically keeping like their closed door policy ideas, and they're putting that onto you. And it is your job as a creative person that you can't let that happen at any cost, even if it upsets people. And sometimes you're going to upset people. There's been times that people got upset because I'm doing something, I'm so deep in the work, and they're like, well, you're kind of lame now because you're always so busy. Yes, because I can guarantee you, I'm not going to be doing this shit in my 60s. I'm going to be chilling on the beach. And I want to chill on the beach within the next 2 years without having to worry about a thing. I'm not worried about a thing right now, and I'm not going to worry about a thing then. But yes, keeping your boundaries up around your creations is very vital to the survival, and is vital for your survival too. And if you are treating your creations like your children, you can't have everybody up in your kid's face. You you have to basically tell them like, "Hey, look, I feel you, but this is the direction that I'm going, and that's that." And they don't have to understand it. You can't force someone to understand what you're doing. You can only inform them of what you're doing. And that's it for this episode. I think I've expressed that enough of why it's so important to keep a boundary around your work so you won't personally fold and quit so early. As always, if you can, please like this video. Well, recording. Also share it just in case someone else needs to hear it. And, subscribe to my channel. There will be more recordings coming along the way after this one, of course. But as always, much love and stay blessed. Love you guys.